from the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
It's officially college baseball season, and the Heels are hungry to defend their ACC title from last year.
Not to mention the University of National Champions adding yet another title to its impressive list. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Jasmine Baker.
And I'm Joshua Dolgoff. It's been a big week for Carolina athletics, so let's dive right in. On Sunday afternoon, the Carolina men's basketball team enters PNC Arena in an effort to turn things around against NC State to keep its NCAA tournament hopes alive. Are the Tar Heels up for the challenge? If the same UNC team that lost to Miami and struggled to make three-pointers at Wake Forest shows up in Raleigh, certainly not. Now, if the team that defeated State by 11 earlier this season and made 15 of 33 long-range shots against Clemson shows out, the Heels should keep their season alive. This team was in dire need of a quad one win. 0-9 in quad one, and this weekend certainly is an opportunity to pick up that first big win. And let's go to basketball analyst Jay Van Zett to preview the matchup.
That's exactly right, Joshua. We need a quad one win as bad as anybody in the country. And the Carolina men's basketball team, they've been sitting at Six Flags all season long because they're on a roller coaster that goes up and down the entire season. They've throttled Clemson. They've been throttled by Miami. They lose to Duke. They get blown out by Wake. They beat State. You never know what you're going to get. But with a huge trip to PNC Arena on Sunday to take on the team in red, they'll need to keep the good times going and drop the bad ones. So let's take a look at what they've done well and what they haven't done well recently and what they'll need to do on Sunday. So the first thing we'll see is a clip against Clemson. Very simple. The key to the game, we have to make threes. You'll see it here. This is just a simple transition, leaky to RJ, nothing complicated. RJ is going to hit this open three, late contest from Clemson. He's got to make threes to keep us in the game. When Caleb Love is shooting the three ball too, he helps a lot. So the team as a whole needs to start making some threes because we're 325th in the country in three-point percentage. Not good. The defensive laziness is also a thing against Miami. You'll see it here. RJ is going to drive to his right. We're going to stop. He's going to have a contested jumper. There's 5 seconds on the shot clock. He knows this. He's got to get a shot up. Still not a great shot. He's got Pete Nance potentially diving in the basket. Too late, whatever. RJ's going to throw up a shot. I don't think it hits the rim at all, and this is where Carolina gets into a problem. You've got 3 Miami players right here. You've got 1 here. You've got 4 Carolina players. So you're pretty even. You'd like to have 1 guy up here, preferably leaky on this guy, to prevent any sort of fast break. And what ends up happening, they're going to throw this forward pass. The Miami player starts running. We're still jogging back, and Pete Nance is hauling his tail to come back and get this block, but he can't do it, and Miami gets a layup. So that's overall defensive laziness that has to go. And then against State, the big thing is getting DJ Burns away from the basket. You'll see Baycott here at the elbow. They're going to throw him the ball on the elbow. Caleb's going to set this screen for RJ to go dive to the backside of the basket. And Baycott, not known for his passing, is going to give a little nifty bounce pass. You'll see here right there. RJ is going to get this layup for the easy basket against State. See it again. The pass gets DJ away from the basket. The shot blocker is away, and RJ can finish in the paint. So the defensive laziness has to go. It would obviously be nice to shoot the three like they did against Clemson. But Sunday will once again come down to Leaky Black containing Terquavion Smith like he did in the first game, and Armando handling DJ Burns, taking him away from the basket down low and opening up the paint for RJ and Caleb to get inside in case they can't shoot the three. Tip-off is at 1 p.m. Josh?
Jay, you're absolutely right. The three-point shooting has to improve. But the biggest red flag for me from that Miami game, Armando Baycott only shot 6 shots in that game. What can these guards do to get him the ball in more opportune positions?
Honestly, you just got to force him the ball. If he's covered on one side of the block, reverse it around the perimeter to the other side, let him go switch with Pete Nance, get him on the other block, see if you can open up a passing lane. But at some point, you just got to accept the turnovers that are going to come with it and force him the ball down low because he's an offensive force on the block. And you just got to get him shots. He's the best player on our team, and he's taking 6 shots a game. That's unacceptable in 40 minutes of basketball. So force him the ball down low. If it's not open, swing it around the other side. Let him rotate, set a screen for him, see if you can get him on the other side.
Like I said last week, it is do or die time for the Tar Heels. Let's see if they can get it done this weekend. Thanks, Jay.
The women's basketball team headed to Raleigh last night in hopes of competing a season sweep of NC State. With injuries to starters Alyssa Utsby and Eva Hodgson, the rest of the lineup had to step up to get the job done. Freshman Paulina Paris had a standout game, showing off with layups like this in the fourth quarter, and the Heels were up by 10 midway through the fourth, but with 13 seconds left, NC State tied the game at 63 all with this turnover layup. In overtime, the Heels were outscored 15-4 and ultimately fell to the Wolfpack 77-66. A women's basketball game at Carmichael Arena might look similar to years prior, but there's one new addition, and you can find it when the opposing team is shooting free throws. Colin Tadlock has the story.
The Curtain of Chaos was created by Carolina Fever, UNC's official student fan organization. It features a black curtain that opens when an opposing player lines up to take a free throw. When the curtain opens, you never know what you're going to find, but it will definitely be distracting for the free throw shooter. With the student section on the bleachers in Carmichael last year, head coach Courtney Banghart wanted to move the section to look better for TV.
It was a little bit of an adjustment period, but once we realized that we were behind the basket, we thought that was a perfect opportunity to try to get the fans engaged.
From a mime to a ram costume to an arm wrestling match, these are just a few examples of what has come from behind the curtain this season. Taking inspiration from Arizona State's Curtain of Distraction, the Curtain of Chaos has been well received by players and coaches. And now there's even an incentive for making players miss 2 in a row, free crumble cookies.
There's also a deal with crumble cookies, so if you miss 2 free throws, we get crumble cookies. And we've gotten that twice, but I feel like it's around 50% now, maybe a little less than, but it's more for the engagement of the students right now.
With one more Fever game in Carmichael this season, Carolina Fever encourages any students who wants to participate to bring their costumes and energy to Carmichael. I'm Colin Tadlock reporting.
I know the women's basketball team is looking forward to all the chaos the Curtain will bring the rest of the season.
A win away from its 4th straight title, the UNC women's tennis team faced a talented Georgia team in the ITA National Team Indoor Championship. In Seattle, Washington, the Heels faced Georgia for the 2nd time this month, originally defeating the Bulldogs in Chapel Hill on February 1st. The Heels were forced to fight back against an early double setback, with Georgia defeating top-ranked Carson Tangelig and Fiona Crawley-Bay's score of 6-4. But wins from the doubles team of Abby Forbes and Riley Tran and a clutch tiebreaker win from Reese Brantmeyer and Elizabeth Scotty helped Carolina secure the doubles point for the 13th time in 14 tries this season. In singles competition, Annika Yarlagata and Tangelig dominated their competitors, putting the team 1 point away from yet another national championship. The winning point came from an Abby Forbes ace who won her singles bout in straight sets 6-4 to 6-1. The win gives Carolina its 4th consecutive ITA Indoor National Championship and 7th overall, all of them coming in the past 11 years. For more about UNC's 4th straight title, let's go over to tennis analyst Kyle Lobenhofer. Kyle?
Joshua, this weekend was UNC's 9th straight trip to the ITA Indoor Championship match, and it ended in a very familiar way, a 4th consecutive championship. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing throughout the entire tournament. The number 1 ranked doubles pair in Fiona Crawley and Carson Tangelig lost 3 of their 4 matches, and the Heels even dropped the doubles point in the semifinal against Texas A&M, which is something they never do. In the first match against Pepperdine, Fiona Crawley sat out in singles, and both Carson Tangelig and Abby Forbes dropped their matches, and I was officially worried. But Elizabeth Scotty, Reese Brantmeyer, and Annika Yarlagata all came in clutch and won the match for the Heels. Brantmeyer, by the way, is currently ranked at 122 nationally, but she played on court 1 and beat number 20 overall. The match against Texas A&M was when I knew this team could win it all. Despite losing both of her singles matches in the prior 2 rounds, Carson Tangelig bounced back and won the clinching match in the absolute slugfest that was the semifinals. And sure enough, the final round was never even close. The Heels swept the Georgia Bulldogs and won their 7th ever national indoor title off this ace from Abby Forbes. My biggest takeaway from this tournament is that this team is deep. Even if 1 or 2 of the top players in the country drop their singles match, the team finds a way to battle to a win. Against Pepperdine, the team played 2-7 on courts 1 through 6 and still won. That is absolutely ridiculous. This indoor title was just the beginning. The Heels have their eyes set on the NCAA championships in May. Joshua?
Before we let you go, we were watching the Super Bowl together this past Sunday, and you appeared to be more invested in the semifinal match against Texas A&M than the big game. Is that true?
You are correct, Josh. I could not tell you anything about the Super Bowl during those final moments during the Heels match. I was completely glued to the live stream from Seattle.
I guess that's why you're our tennis analyst and not our football analyst. Thanks, Kyle.
The 10th seeded men's tennis team will face USC in the first round of the ITA Indoor National Championship today at 1 p.m. The team most recently won the title in 2021, and the Heels are looking to return to the big stage. Carolina is coming off a dominant 6-1 victory against Elon last Sunday, improving to 6-2 on the season. The team will rely on players like Brian Serenok, who was dominant in singles against Elon and successful in doubles with Benjamin Kate. If the Heels win, they'll advance to the quarterfinal round on Saturday and play the winner of Kentucky versus Florida.
The UNC men's lacrosse team made the trip up north to Baltimore on Tuesday to face off in a top 20 clash against 6th-ranked Johns Hopkins. Despite Carolina falling behind early, this goal from midfielder PJ Zinzer put the Heels within 1 to end the third quarter. Midfielder Antonio DeMarco went between the legs of the opposing goalkeeper on this goal, tying up the score early in the fourth quarter. Moments later, this goal from attackman Logan McGovern gave the Heels their first lead of the game, and they never looked back, dominating the fourth quarter, scoring 5 unanswered goals to win 11-7. Life after Chris Gray seems pretty good for the Heels. Let's go to men's lacrosse analyst Riley Kennedy to break down this promising start to the season. Riley?
Joshua, UNC outscored Johns Hopkins 8-1 in the second half and defeated the Blue Jays on Homewood Field, which is a hard feat to do. Let's take a look at 2 plays that stood out for me from Tuesday night. The first one is unselfish offense with the 2-man game behind. Right now, you're going to see Antonio DeMarco running in from the box. What are you going to hear from the sideline? You're going to hear a bingo, bingo, bingo. What does that mean? There's a guy hot coming out of the box. Antonio DeMarco's job is just to move the defense. That first dodge in an offensive set is just to see if guys will slide. Antonio DeMarco's going to do a little split down the left alley. He's going to get this guy to slide right here, right? That's perfect. Now he's going to set up that 2-man game behind with McGovern. McGovern's a grad student out of Bryant, and Johns Hopkins did their homework, right? Because they know he's a lefty attackman. DeMarco's going to set this pick, and both of these Johns Hopkins guys are going to bite left, right? Because they think he's left. He's going to split them, get top side, and finish right-handed, right? That's just beautiful high Q lacrosse. But this is Antonio DeMarco's goal. Why? Because he moved the defense, and he's getting the defense non-adjusted. He's going to set this pick. McGovern's going to slip it, split right-handed, and finish top side on the goalie. Now, my next one is killing the man-up opportunity, which transitions to good offense. What does that mean? Johns Hopkins is up 6-on-4 in a man-up opportunity. Carolina's going to show a box, right? And then when this guy up top catches it, they're going to pinch to a diamond. Simple box to diamond. This guy is so valuable on offense. Why? If he has the stick in his right hand on this side, it's a quick stick, right? If his stick's in his left hand on this side, it's just simple quick stick. This guy has to be active in the middle for Johns Hopkins to be successful, right? They're just going to run a little wheel, and the hardest thing to guard for a defender is if the offense is just constantly moving, right? You're going to get guys cutting, and they're going to run a wheel on this side. Johns Hopkins, you're going to see it. He's going to be open, ready? But the stick is not in his left hand. It's in his right hand. He's going to miss it. There is a Hopkins guy in the back door, right? He's on the doorstep, but he can't finish on Krieg. Tyler Schwartz is going to get pushed in the back, and then UNC is going to switch their personnel, right? Get our pulls off, get our offensive guys. Again, what's that saying that I said? You're going to see the replay up there. It's bingo, bingo, bingo. What does that mean? DeMarco's going to come in from the box. They're just late subbing here. They're going to get their offensive personnel. What is his job, right? Like I said, just move the defense. Now he's got a shorty, right? This is an offensive player's like dream. Now for a short stick defensive midfielder, if you're getting inverted behind by midi, this is a nightmare. If you're this attackman, what are you going to do? You can mirror DeMarco, right? But just get out of his way, right? If you're going to mirror him, just go where he goes. Just get out of his way. DeMarco sees it. He's just going to take him one-on-one. He's going to beat him top side and finish right. That slides late, and he gets the boys buzzing on the sidelines. UNC played high IQ lacrosse at Homewood Field. Let's see if the Heels can translate that momentum come Sunday, Josh.
Riley, that's some high IQ analysis right there. Why do you think UNC has connected so well this season?
Josh, I'll tell you what, having basically a brand new offense from last season and having opportunities for players to come off the bench and make noise is crucial to a team's success. This is what's needed to take UNC to the next level. Jasmine?
The top-ranked UNC women's lacrosse team was back at Dorrance Field on Wednesday against Liberty for the second game of the season. It was an all-around dominant day for the Heels. Carolina was down 2-0 early, but when the offense got rolling, Liberty stood no chance. Caitlin Wurzberger had one of her finest games as a Tar Heel, racking up 4 goals and 3 assists with moves like this beautiful juke and finish. Junior Riley Casey had an impressive outing as well with her own hat trick, including this sweet finish off the free shot position. The Tar Heels win their second game of the season, 18-6, and they move on to 2-0 on the year.
Our offenses have always been about balance. Tonight we had 8 different scorers. We scored 18 goals. We had 10 of them that were assisted. And That's how Carolina likes to play lacrosse.
When you come to University of North Carolina, you want to get everyone's best game. And I think Liberty did a great job today challenging us. And I think a good challenge for us was it's not going to be easy every time.
The Heels came to win against the Liberty Flames, and it's no wonder the Liberty head coach, Kelly Nagel, wishes her team had more experience before going up against this dominant Carolina squad. For more about the win and the upcoming matchup against number 7 ranked Florida Gators, here's women's lacrosse analyst Caroline Yaffa.
Jasmine, UNC's unsettled transitions, fast movement, and quick passing led to a convincing Carolina win. Midfielder Sophie Student gets the ball from the draw, and she immediately sees a bunch of defenders from Liberty coming to attack her. So you can see 1, 2, 3, but lucky for her, Carolina's own defender Emily Knowles is open for the pass through the gap, and it's the only gap that Student's able to pass it to. So Student passes to Knowles, and I want you to take a look at this. When you're playing against Carolina, you have to be fast, but there are no Flames anywhere near the goal. So Knowles is about to pass to Riley Casey for a shot to the top left corner. Well, against Florida on Saturday, it's going to be a little bit more of an intense battle. The 7th-ranked Gators are a strong team, and we can expect an aggressive game. Last year when the two teams played each other, both squads weren't afraid to get down and dirty, as you can see here. A competitive push is about to happen for a Florida goal, putting them to 6-4. UF's biggest threat, though, is junior midfielder Danielle Pavanelli. Last year, she had 6 goals and 9 points against the Heels. Florida's star player isn't afraid to put the pressure on Carolina's defense and will need to defend her well. You're about to see she tackles the UNC player, the stick goes down, and I don't understand how the ball gets to the back of the net. Jasmine?
Caroline, what do the Tar Heels need to do to stop Pavanelli and limit her ability to lead the Florida offense?
Honestly, it's all about execution. Like, UNC will need to buckle down on defense, not be afraid to step in front of Pavanelli when she comes inside the 12 and 8. We can't let her be one-on-one against our keeper. So honestly, it's really about toughness.
Thanks, Caroline.
The UNC swimming and diving teams are in Greensboro this week for the ACC championships. Aranza Vasquez is bringing home 2 gold medals for the Heels in the women's 1 meter and 3 meter springboard competitions. Anton Down Jenkins brought home a silver in the men's 3 meter springboard. On the swimming side, the women's 200-yard medley relay placed 4th, and Gracie County placed 4th in the women's 50 freestyle. The men's 800 free relay placed 5th. The Tar Heels are currently in 4th on the women's side and 7th on the men's side and hope to climb the leaderboard.
On Wednesday, UNC softball took on Elon for his 2023 home opener. The Tar Heels had a rough start to the game. Defensive struggles like this one led to that. But Elon led the game 5-0 at the top of the third. However, Kirsten Lasea got the momentum back for the Heels at the bottom of the third with a solo home run. And it was all Heels from there. With hits like this one from Skylar Brooks, UNC scored 4 runs in the 5th inning to tie the game. In the bottom of the 7th, Isabella Emmerling brought it home with a walk-off grand slam to win the game for Carolina 9-5.
Senior season is back, and not just for softball. The 12th-ranked Diamond Heels opened the season this evening, following last year's 42-22 campaign that won the ACC championship and advanced to the NCAA Super Regional round. The Tar Heels are ready to go the distance. The team returns 17 lettermen, most notably Vance Honeycutt, and welcomes 19 newcomers to the program, including 12 pitchers. The Heels get underway against Seton Hall at 4 p.m. at the Bosch.
UNC volleyball has a new name running things at the top. Mike Schall was the assistant coach for the Heels for 5 seasons before now being named head coach. He will take the place of Joy Sagaloo, who coached the team for 33 seasons.
UNC gymnastics team will head to Washington, D.C. this weekend to compete at a quad meet against Yale, George Washington, and Temple. The Heels are coming off of a powerful performance on Sunday at the New Hampshire quad meet, finishing with their second highest score of the season at 196.275. The win with huge performances by Julia Noah and Bree Greenlow helped UNC stay undefeated in the East Atlantic Gymnastics League with a record of 4-0.
The UNC wrestling team returns to Carmichael Arena tonight in its final match of the regular season. After starting off ACC play 2-0, the Tar Heels have dropped their past 2 matches to top 20 teams, Pitt and Virginia Tech. UNC now faces number 5 NC State. Austin O'Connor, the highest ranked wrestler on the team at number 2 in his weight class, was the only man to win against both the Panthers and the Hokies. He has a tough battle against number 7 Ed Scott looming, but a victory from him is crucial for a potential Tar Heel upset because UNC will outrank the competition in just one other weight class. The key to emerging victorious will be winning early bouts and avoiding pins.
Sophomore Erica Birdsong took the Ultimate Frisbee community by storm last year in her first season with the Carolina Women's Club team Pleiades, and her success carried her far beyond Chapel Hill. Eric Haynes has the story.
Birdsong grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, where Frisbee runs in the family.
My brother actually started playing Frisbee when he was in middle school. He also has made a few national teams, and seeing how much he loved the sport and loved the people in it pushed me to want to try it myself.
During the 2021-22 season, her first with Pleiades, Birdsong won 2 national championships in just 6 months, a result of delays caused by COVID-19. Despite being just a freshman, she knew the high expectations the team had to live up to.
Coming into college, Pleiades was a very talented and amazing team and one of the top teams in the country, but it's still really hard to be able to maintain that for so long.
Her poised play on the offensive line impressed veterans like team captain Allie Riley.
As a freshman, to step onto the O-line and have that pressure put on her, that's a really big deal, and she just took that role in stride and was a huge contributor last season, both in the fall and in the spring.
After the season, Birdsong traveled to Poland and secured gold at the World Under-20 Championships in July with the United States, capping an unforgettable year.
Being able to come out on top of those tournaments is also really exciting, and it's really amazing that it's all just happened so quickly.
Birdsong is looking to secure another gold medal this summer at the World Under-24 Championships, and Pleiades is currently ranked number 1 in the country, looking for a three-peat. I am Eric Haynes, reporting.
Pleiades teammates Don Colton and Teresa Yu will join Birdsong to represent the U.S. women's team this July at the World Under-24 Championships. Now, Jasmine, I think Ultimate Frisbee is such an underrated sport. I personally love to play it, and I think watching it is so fun as well. It's just so cool seeing these players just dive through the air to make some insane diving catches.
Definitely. I mean, it's amazing. And I think we're going to see that this weekend at the Bosch as well in Vance Honeycutt. He's able to soar through the air to make the most impressive catches. So I'm so glad that baseball season is back.
It's official. We're back at the Bosch. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra. We'll be back on Monday with all of the highlights from another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.